Hey guys, my name is Hayden and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about the process of how I studied for my software engineering interviews to land my next job. So recently I actually went through the recruitment process to find my next job as a software engineer, and I wanted to make this video in order to kind of share the process that I followed in order to do that. I'm not saying it's the most optimal or the best or it will even land you a job, but it's just, I want to share my experience, give it to you guys. Hopefully you can learn from it, take what you need from it, and hopefully it can help you land your next job. So first things first, you need to understand there are kind of two main areas that companies are interviewing for when they're hiring a candidate. That is technical ability and social skills. So kind of technical ability, like it sounds, is your ability to program, your technical skills, the skills you need in order to carry out your job, whereas the social skills are those interpersonal skills, how you talk to people, how you interact with your manager, how you share your ideas, how you present your ideas. You need to remember that both of these points are as equally as important as each other. A lot of the times I find people focus kind of on the technical ability a lot and they lack in the social skills, or they'll focus on the social skills a lot and they'll lack in the technical ability. I know it's hard to say be really good technically and also be really good socially, but if you want to land a job, these are what people are going to be looking for. They're going to want to see that you can code and you can do things the right way and you have good knowledge and understanding and that you can communicate, because if you get into a problem and you get stuck, you need to be able to talk to people, articulate what your problem is, work in a team, come up with solutions. You need to have those abilities in order to kind of communicate your thoughts and articulate yourself, because if you don't, essentially you're just a black box that sits there in codes and nobody really knows what's going on. Whereas if you have these social skills, or these soft skills as some people call it, it allows for a better kind of atmosphere in the office. I'd actually almost go as far as saying that kind of the social skills might even be the more important one. I know it's probably unpopular opinion here, but technical skills, everybody needs them. You need to be able to code in order to land a software engineering job, but what sets candidates apart is their social skills. If you can communicate well in an interview, if you can come across well in an interview, if people want to work with you and think they'll like you, that is, worth so much more than, saying, hey, how would you solve this problem in code? Because, code is very matter of fact. If it works, it works. Technical skills, everybody needs them in order to do the job, but your soft skills is where you can really kind of set yourself apart from the other candidates in the interview process. But most importantly, I always kind of find interviews are similar to dating. You essentially need to be interesting enough that they want to know more about you, and lots of potential to kind of help them and grow together in the future. So the next point I want to cover is how I actually studied for my interviews. So the kind of basic bread and butter of any interview is going to be the coding interview. These are going to be questions like LeetCode, HackerRank, websites like this where they're testing your fundamental understanding of computers, or at least asking you to solve problems using programming. Now, there's obviously quite a big debate here whether, the LeetCode style problems actually correlate to being a good candidate. Depends on what side of the fence you sit on that, but at the end of the day, they are asked in interviews. So if you want to get a job, you're going to have to do them. So you kind of got to just get good at them. And also at the same time, they are testing fundamental understanding of data structures and algorithms, and these are fundamental for anyone that's programming. You don't want to be using the wrong data structures to solve the wrong problem, because it's just inefficient. And if you don't understand that, then that's kind of a big red flag for employers, because they know that, you're not going to be coding as optimal. I have a video on Grokking's algorithms book, which I read when I was going through the interview process to kind of just refresh my memory of these algorithms. I really recommend that. Also check out the video if you want to see my review on it. It's a really good book if you want to understand kind of data structures and you enjoy seeing kind of diagrams of how they work rather than kind of boring textbook code. I'd fully recommend giving that one a look. Also as well, with the debate of, are these LeetCode type problems good or bad? At the end of the day, once you've learned the data structures and algorithms once, you don't really need to, they don't change ever. So you just need to learn them once, understand them fundamentally, and that's it. You're set for your career. I know at the start of your career it looks like, oh my god, there's so many data structures and algorithms to work, but when you go through the interview process a couple of times and you learn them and you understand them, they're the same. They're never going to change. So once you've got them, it's kind of a long-term investment focus, isn't it? Once you understand them, that's it. You can interview endlessly throughout your career and the same type of questions will come up and the same data structures will come up. So yeah, it is a difficult one, but you kind of just have to, learn it, do it, get it under your belt, make sure you know it, and then move on. Also, the great thing about the LeetCode questions is there's tons of videos on YouTube and explanations of how they will work now. If you get stuck on a problem, you can follow a solution to work it out. LeetCode in itself is a whole video, so if you want to see a kind of a more detailed video of that, then comment and all that stuff, and I'll try and make one. One website I would fully recommend doing, and this is not an ad, or my channel's way too small to have ads, but cramp.com, I'll leave a link in the description, is an incredible website. So it's basically a free website where you do these LeetCode problems, but in an interview style. So you have your webcam on and you're doing the coding question, and then for half of it, you're the interviewer and they're the interviewee, and then halfway through you swap and then you ask each other different questions. Really good to kind of getting comfortable with that kind of coding interview type questions. Fully recommend, definitely check it out. It's free. You just sign up and use it. I use it. Yeah, 100% recommend. I use it every time I interview. So the next point I want to cover is getting your CV reviewed. I think this is something that a lot of people don't actually do, and it's so easy to do that people kind of just almost don't care about it, or just not don't care about it, but they just kind of see it's so basic that they don't do it. Your CV should be nice to look at, and that doesn't mean that it's designed nicely. That means that when someone scans it, you know, they can pick out the key information, you know, they can pick out the technologies you've used, the projects you've worked on. It should be easy. You should basically pretend that your CV is not going to be on someone's desk for longer than 10-15 seconds. You know, you're going to get a candidate, like if I'm a hiring manager, I'm going to get a candidate, I'm going to look at their CV, right, where have they worked, what have they done, what experience have they got, what projects have they done, this is the key information, cool, fine, yeah, let's bring them in for an interview, on to the next one. No one's going to sit there and really study CVs because they've got so many probably to go through for each job that they hire for. You know, it needs to be a quick process. So, you know, ask recruiters, ask friends, ask family just to go through your CV. You can do things like, you know, give them your CV for 20 seconds and then go, right, where was the last 3 places I've worked? And if they can't recall that information, then you know your CV isn't kind of, you know, scannable. Cool. So once you have kind of prepared yourself, got your CV in order, you're going to want to start applying for jobs. You know, the easiest way to do this is obviously jump onto LinkedIn. You can set a little flag on your profile that says open to opportunities. It basically brings your profile up to the top of the search results when people scan for like software engineer. In the recruitment process, there's kind of 2 approaches to do. You can either contact recruiters or a recruitment agency and they can find you roles that you're looking for, or if you know a company you want to work for and you have the skills for them and there's a role open, you know, you can obviously contact them directly. A lot of people kind of badmouth recruiters, which I think is quite wrong. You know, at the end of the day, it's their job to find you a role. They're doing their best. It's in their best interest to find you a role. They obviously get a cut of your salary or however much they get for landing you a role. So be nice to them, don't treat them badly. They are essentially, at the end of the day, people. You know, they have a job, they have bills to pay. Don't be mean to them. Be nice to them, because at the end of the day, they're the one that's putting your CV in front of the hiring manager's face. And, you know, when the hiring manager goes, hey, have you got any nice candidates or good candidates we can bring in? Who are they going to pick more? The guy that's been nice to them throughout the entire process, or the guy that's been a bit annoying but has, you know, more skills? They're probably going to go, right, yeah, well, this guy needs a chance, like, let's give it him. Or, you know, it's just kind of human nature. Good thing about recruiters as well is because they have quite a big pool of opportunities that they've got. If you don't kind of know what you want, what company you want to work for, but you do know what technologies you want to work with, they're a great way to kind of just open up your eyes and see what's going on out there. And, you know, they might have opportunities you don't even know about. So they're a really good way to kind of seeing what's on the market. Also, you can use them for your CV feedback that I mentioned earlier. So the other part of this is if you're contacting a company directly, so, you know, you want to work at company X and you've sent company X your application, and what happens now? What I would kind of recommend doing is obviously filling out your application form, sending it in, and once you've done that, then going on LinkedIn, trying to find a recruiter that works for that company. And if you can, send them a polite message, you know, that says, hi, I've just applied for the role, think I would be good fit for this role because blah 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 blah, would be great to, you know, discuss more. And what that might do, I'm not saying it will, what it might do is that they might, you know, go, oh, okay, cool, he's applied for the role, you know, I can see his LinkedIn because he contacted me on LinkedIn, he's got good experience, let me bring his application up to the top. It might just be that one little bit that allows them to pull your application out of the hundreds of applications they've got. So we've covered how to improve your technical skills with kind of coding interview questions, but what happens if you want to improve your social skills? You know, what techniques can you use in order to improve them? One technique I like to use is kind of the simple explain to complex explain. There's a YouTube channel called Wired which does these like really cool videos that, you know, it explains like quantum computing to a 5-year-old, an 18-year-old, professional, senior, and then a professor. Like, kind of makes the person who's trying to explain the subject, you know, explain it to these different people. And basically, if you can empathize with them, you can understand their point of view and what they all want to hear. And this is a really good way to kind of improving your social skills, because, you know, you're going, right, a 5-year-old, how are they going to understand what I'm trying to explain to them? And then, you know, a colleague or someone in the same profession as me, how will they also understand? And you have to kind of approach the problem differently. It's a really good way to kind of improve how you articulate and portray the information you're trying to say and change it for different people. And this really helps in interviews, because when they go, right, tell me your experience, tell me why you want this role, tell me why you'll be good for this role, you can go, right, what are they wanting from me? What do I think they'll want to hear from me? And then you can use these soft skills that you've learned in order to kind of get your points across as easy and understandable as you can. Because you've got to remember, the interviewer didn't work at your last company and didn't work on your last project, so you have to explain it to them as if they've got no understanding. So it's almost like trying to explain it to that kind of like 5-year-old in the wider videos. Yeah, you have to really kind of like paint the picture for them. And my final tip for, you know, improving your social skills is 100% practice interviewing with friends. If they're in software engineering already, even better, but you can still kind of use them as a way to relax yourself and help you, you know, articulate your ideas across them. And if they don't understand, you know, you shouldn't take offense when an interviewer goes, oh, you know, not skilled or not qualified enough for the role, because it could actually be that, you know, you didn't actually articulate your points. Like, you might be qualified enough for the role, but what you didn't actually do is articulate to the interviewer that you do have those skills and you have worked on projects that use those technologies that they're after. That isn't a, you know, oh, they didn't ask me the right question. You know, you kind of need to like socially engineer that situation. And if they ask you a question, you know, you need to be like, right, they're looking for Python or Java skills, I need to tell them about a Python or Java role or project I worked on. Or, oh, they're looking for React and Vue, I need to somehow get that into the conversation. Yeah, so you can, you know, like give your friends, family, give them a list of questions that you want to, you know, have good responses for, and ask them to pick like 3 at random. It only can be like 5-10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a full half an hour one. If you can do a half an hour one, brilliant, but you know, just a full, like, pick 3 of these questions at random, ask me them, I'll try and explain them to you. And if you don't think I've explained them well enough for you to understand, then you know you need to kind of refine your answer. Yeah, so the website like Pramp kind of helps this, because you're doing the coding one, but you're also doing that with fellow coders. But with your friends and family, they can kind of give you, I guess, more detailed feedback, because they are your friends and family, so they're probably going to be harsher on you. So it's always good to kind of get that feedback from them. And again, if you're not explaining that correctly to your friends and family, there's no way an interviewer who doesn't even know you is going to understand your point of view. So it's all about kind of empathizing and putting yourself into their shoes and getting them to understand your experience and the projects you've worked on. Cool, there we go. So there are some tips on some technical skills and some soft skills and how you can improve both. I really do hope you could take something from this video and it can help you landing your next role. Do let me know in the comments how you're getting on, you know, if you're being successful in your interview process, if there was a tip that you found that was really good. In the next video, I'm going to try and, you know, develop this further. So like, this was kind of preparing for interviews, and then we've got the actual interview process, and then kind of other bits related around career I'm going to make a couple videos on. So if you'd like that kind of content, you know, subscribe to my channel, you'll see them coming out. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, all the good stuff. It really helps me out, you know, helps all the rankings and YouTube magic that happens behind the scenes. If you didn't think it was very good, please let me know in a comment. I'll try to improve that for the next time, for the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I really do hope this does help you in your interview process, because I know they're stressful and I know they're tough, but remember, you know, every day that you practice for interviews and you go for interviews is the next day closer to landing that job. So, you know, it's just a matter of time. Thanks very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.